Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving into a really cool GitHub project, a Terraform provider for HRUI network switches. It's all about automating the configuration of these switches using Terraform, which is amazing for infrastructure as code.
That sounds fantastic. So what exactly are HRUI switches, and why is a Terraform provider for them so useful? I'm guessing it's not just for the fun of it, right?
Exactly. HRUI is a brand encompassing several manufacturers like Horaco, Sadola, and Zhegstore. They make web-managed network switches. A Terraform provider lets you manage their configurations, things like VLANs, port settings, and more, entirely through code. Think of it as a bridge between your infrastructure code and these switches. No more manual configuration. It's all about efficiency and repeatability.
I see. So instead of logging into each switch individually, you can manage them all from a single Terraform configuration file? That's a huge time saver, especially for larger networks.
Absolutely. And it's not just about saving time. It's about consistency and version control. Every change is tracked, documented, and easily reversible. It's a game changer for network management. It's all about infrastructure as code best practices.
This provider uses GoQuery to interact with the switch's web UI, right? That's interesting. I've used GoQuery before, but I'm curious about the potential security implications of relying on a web interface for configuration. Isn't that a bit risky?
That's a valid concern. Using the web UI does introduce some security risks. However, the project emphasizes using secure practices like HTTPS and proper authentication. The developer also mentions using firmware version 1.9. It's crucial to keep the firmware updated for security patches, of course. Security is paramount.
Good point. So how does one actually get started with this Terraform provider? Is it difficult to set up?
Not at all. The README provides a clear, step-by-step guide. You basically define the provider in your Terraform configuration, specifying the switch's IP address, username, and password, which can be stored securely as an environment variable. Then, you can use the resources and data sources defined in the examples directory to manage your switch. It's pretty straightforward. It's surprisingly easy to get up and running.
And it's open source, under the MPL 2.0 license, which is pretty permissive. That's great for community contributions and further development. It's got 36 stars on GitHub already, which is a good sign of community interest.
Absolutely. The project also has a clear contributing .md file, encouraging community involvement. The fact that it's actively maintained and has a recent release, January 18, 2025, shows the developer's commitment. This is a well-maintained and promising project.
This sounds like a valuable tool for anyone managing HRUI switches. The ability to automate configuration, version control changes, and leverage the power of Terraform is a significant advantage. Thanks for highlighting this project.
My pleasure. And that's it for this episode of Tech Bytes and News. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Terraform and HRUI network switches. Goodbye, and happy coding.
Bye-bye.